I'm
Echoing somehow.
Audition?
Audition?
Maybe.
Welcome into the program, everybody.
This is
Alabama
Unfiltered Radio. It is a Tuesday, the 4th day of August in the year of our Lord, 2026. I hope you've had a good morning, and I hope the last 21 hours have gone well as well. I'm here, Big Sky Mountain Mosley, making sure we can broadcast to as many people across the globe as we possibly can. We think the YouTube connection is actually up, and you can watch, take part, be a part of the program. The number here, remember to put it in, 1-800-289-9228, 1-800-289-9228. So, Sky, how you doing, man? Is he there? Is he ready? Is he good?
Let's see. Should be. All right. How about now?
Nope, you're way low.
Okay.
It's all right, sir.
Stand by. We're doing a little technical
You're
stuff.
jacked up, sir.
Okay.
All right. The lots of stuff to talk about today. If you want to weigh in, like I said, today might be a good day to do those things. Not a lot of really hard-hitting news. A lot of just other stuff that just seems to be indicative of what's going on in the culture in general. One of the more fascinating stories, and I know some people don't like it when we talk about sports, but the whole fiasco with the WNBA is just amazing to me. I can't fathom anyone who would run a sports league like the people who are running the WNBA. Now, so my experience with the WNBA is, well, I guess not even experience. I guess it is. I'm like most people out there. I just am familiar with it. It was probably, 3 years ago that Caitlin Clark came on the scene as a college basketball player at the University of Iowa. More people watched the women's Final Four, I think, that year than ever had. There was just this girl that just could just fire the ball from just about anywhere and score, and people became fascinated with her. She graduates from school. I think y'all's mic might be on there, guy.
Please.
She graduates, goes to the WNBA, which no one was watching. No one was paying attention to the WNBA at all. And lo and behold, she does really, really well. And people begin to watch. People begin to buy tickets. People begin to go to games. People begin to buy her jerseys. People begin to show interest in the WNBA, Sky. And I wouldn't say it takes off. Okay, everything is relative. If you're in the basement, at the very bottom of the basement, over where the sump pump is, where all the concrete is poured, so that if there's any water, any moisture accumulates, it goes over to the sump pump, and then the pump is down in the bottom of the hole. If you're down around the sump pump and you make it to the first floor, that is a huge, massive, unbelievable improvement that no one could have anticipated, okay? That is what the WNBA did. They went from the bottom of the basement. Scott, that is rough. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. They're just in the basement. How's that? They're not over by the sump drain. They're just in the basement. And then they make it to the first floor, maybe halfway to the second floor. Now the building is probably a 50-story building. For the popularity and the income of sports leagues, they're down there. Yeah, but Scott, they've only been around. Yeah, don't go there. Don't start the they've only been around so many years thing, because what is it, like 30 years, guy?
I believe
that
it is.
that the WNBA has been around 30 years?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it, does it? They just seem to
It
burst on
seems
the
like
scene
they just
when that,
popped on the
when that certain
scene like
player showed up.
when Caitlin Clark got there.
Yeah.
And so, and then this set of events begins to occur where Caitlin Clark does really, really well. People are excited about it. People want to see. They're selling out venues, usually when Caitlin Clark's team is coming to play. Because of this, there's all this new interest. Oh, the WNBA, and people are buying tickets, and so there's renegotiations for their contracts, and all of a sudden they're not flying coach, and they're taking some chartered planes, etc., and it begins to look like it might actually not lose as much money as it usually does because the history of the WNBA is it has been subsidized, and I don't even think subsidized is a fair word, Sky. I think the word is paid for by. Subsidized has this inherent feel of, well, they were just about making it, but somebody had to kick in a little bit of money just to get them over the top. That's not what was happening. The NBA was paying the bills because sometime way back in the past, somebody involved with the NBA, okay, I'm going to speak out of turn. This is not true. This is how I see it in my mind, okay? Sometime in the past, somebody at the NBA was trying to make their wife or their girlfriend or impress someone, and they said, "Hey, we're gonna fund this WNBA thing, and it's going to be awesome and great." And then they tied themselves to it for not for business reasons. And that's one of the things when we always say we'll follow the money, et cetera, et cetera. That is true 99% of the time. But power and insanity weighs in at some point. And paying for the WNBA for years and 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 years was insanity. There was no profit to be made. There was no income to be made. It was just pouring money out over and over and over. So Caitlin Clark gets there. She begins to do well, and the rest of the league decides that is not fair. That is not right. It is not okay that Caitlin Clark comes along, and now we have fans, and now we have sales, and now we have people buying tickets. That's not fair. It's not right. Well, we, the people who have been here the longest, are responsible for this growth. Some sort of, in their minds, they were just always right there. It was just about to start. The campfire was just about to light. They had used box after box after box after box of matches. They had put lighter fluid on it. They had the butane lighters out. They even went and bought the kind that looked like little torches, and they just couldn't get it to light. And Caitlin Clark walks up, and she throws a match on the fire, and all of a sudden it lights, and they are convinced that it was because of the years and years and years and years and years of investment that they had made. It was taking off, and she just happened to be there at the right time. That's the only thing that makes any sense from their point of view. So people began to be angry at her for some reason, and they began to foul, they began to assault, they began to not call, the referees wouldn't call fouls. She's very competitive. Now, I don't know anything about Caitlin Clark. She was given her opportunity kind of to, stay with her fan base. I think it was last year, Sky, where she says, oh, no, it's just about having white privilege.
Oh, yeah,
whatever it was, and we were like, "What are you doing? I mean, you're not going to be accepted. Why are you trying?" But I understand completely.
Yeah, she made the effort, but it's always a mistake.
Yeah. Well, I think I think there's a chance that we made a mistake in reading that. Okay,
Okay.
and I will tell you what that is on the other side. We got to take a real quick break. Lots of stuff to do. Alabama Unfiltered Radio. We'll be right back.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason, your news and headline headquarters.
Time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politician.
Show you can learn things, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate that, Fred. Thank you.
But that's true, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I am serious.
Welcome back into the program, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. We appreciate you listening, and we appreciate you being a part of the show. So I was talking about the WNBA, and we'll get out the phones in a moment. So Caitlin Clark had come into the league, and then she made some comments where she said something about having white privilege, and people were like, why is she doing that? I mean, we're talking about professional basketball. We're talking about the WNBA. We're talking about where a league where the majority of the players happen to be black. And so what's she doing? And most of us thought she was kind of trying to, hey, look, I get it. I'm more woke. I'll say what you need me to say. And people thought she was kind of kneeling at the altar of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And now you fast forward to today. I was one of those people that thought she was trying to make up, trying to get the league to like her by saying woke things. You fast forward, you get to the rise of a player named Sophie Cunningham, who became very, very popular by being kind of the protector. I don't know how often that happened, but social media made it so that she was the protector of Caitlin Clark, and she began to rise in popularity. Then just a few weeks ago in this most recent season, she had the event where she's pointing back at another girl, and the pointing becomes a giant social media viral meme. And she's everywhere. She's a little, she's different, but she's likable. And that's the
Very
thing.
much.
She's likable. And so now she has her own shoe, and the first run of the shoes sold out like in 2 or 3 days or something.
She's a superstar because she's taken up for Caitlin Clark. She's
Yes.
become an enforcer. Somebody finally.
Well, and that's how she rose to that. And so she's asked about men and women's sports. Of course she is, because she's a female athlete, gains popularity. You know, she's a player off the bench, by the way. She's arguably the second most well-known player in the WNBA. She scores like 8 points a game. She's like the 6th player in the rotation. So that just drives the league even more crazy. She's an attractive, straight, white girl. Drives them more crazy, which is part of the reason they dislike Caitlin Clark. At least that's what people say. I'm just saying that's what people say. I don't know. And now she has the shoe contract. I saw people saying, well, so-and-so doesn't even have a shoe contract. You know who? I have no idea who the other girl is. They're like, well, Sky doesn't have a shoe contract, and she's the greatest. I'm like, I don't know who she is.
So what?
I know who Sophie Cunningham is, and chances are if someone who doesn't watch the WNBA knows who a player is, that's the player you want to sell shoes. The one
That's
that
just
everyone
marketing,
knows. It's just good marketing.
Economics. Right.
So they ask her about men playing in women's sports, and she says that she doesn't think that men should play in women's sports. Then she's given an opportunity to backtrack on that, and she does not. She just says, and she says, look, I'm trying, she gives it the old, hey, I'm trying to, I don't want anybody treated bad. I love everybody. I just don't think men ought to play in women's sports. So she gave it the best you can get. And the league starts losing its mind. Coaches of opposing teams where, I support trans, whatever, and other players are doing press conferences, and they're being asked and just saying all kind of stuff. And one of the co-owners accosts these little teenage girls who wore shirts that said something that was men shouldn't play in women's sports or something. She cusses them out. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. That was absolutely horrifying. Little teenage fans,
Yes.
girls.
These people
And goes out of her way, a co-owner,
Yeah.
to berate these children.
Yes.
These people are out of their minds.
They really are.
It's some kind of mental illness.
And so one of the coaches, so all this stuff weighs in, and then you get back to Caitlin Clark. She's asked about the controversy involving her teammate, Sophie Cunningham, who we like because why? We think she's the protector of Caitlin Clark. And maybe, like I said, this is why I said maybe she's not really. I mean, social media can blow things a little bit out of proportion, but it appears that way. She's on her side. Caitlin Clark declines to take a personal stance and states that her primary focus remains on basketball. So she does the smart thing in an isolated incident, where you would want a LeBron James or somebody to, hey, look, you don't have to weigh in on everything. Just because somebody asks you a question, you do not have to do it. And we would appreciate it if more athletes said, hey, look, I'm just focusing on football. I'm just focusing on basketball. But Caitlin is the center of the WNBA tornado, and for her not to weigh in on it makes me wonder, Sky, if back when she did the whole, white privilege stuff, if she's not much more woke than she lets on. Because she could have very easily said, I agree with Sophie, men don't have a place. Men do not need to play in women's sports.
Okay.
But she didn't. She did not stand with the girl who protects her all the time.
Which is sad.
She did not stand with the majority of her fans. Can you imagine what the percentage is of Caitlin Clark fans who are like, yeah, I think men ought to be able to play in the WNBA. It's got to be infinitesimally small.
One would think. Yeah.
Her brand would not be hurt at all by saying, no, I don't think men should play in women's sports. Now, here's the beauty of it. Clay Travis is offering now $10 million for the national champion WNBA team if they play a game against a state championship high school boys team that he picks. He'll pick a state championship high school boys team from somewhere, and the winners get $10 million.
Wow.
They'll sell tickets. Everything that's made extra from the tickets and all that kind of stuff will donate to Tunnels the Towers, the nonprofit charity that helps hurt first responders and military guys and stuff who were been hurt in combat.
Very worthy cause.
$10 million. He has also said that he will pay for and start a WNBA franchise in Nashville. He has a logo and everything. The Nashville Balls. No, he really does. It's got a net with 2 balls coming out of him. And he says that he will, that they can prove their devotion to diversity because the Nashville Balls will be all men who claim to be women, and that if they really are about what they say they're about, then they need to put up or shut up.
Wow.
Well,
okay, the gauntlet has been thrown down.
Yes.
Clearly.
And apparently he has the money to do it. He's donated millions of dollars to Vanderbilt Law School recently. So let's see what happens. But as soon we got to take a break. We'll go to, well, no, we won't because they went ahead and left, but I did not announce who they were. But I wanted to get that story in so I could get your take on all of that. And fascinating thing. You'd love the logo, but it's radio, so I can't tell you.
I'll be looking
but
it
it
up
is
in just a moment.
It is
me.
hilarious. We got to take a break. We'll be back.
Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
you can learn things, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate that,
And,
Fred. Thank you.
But that's true, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I am serious.
We have to stop kowtowing to every little thing that they have said is bad and evil, and they don't get to decide. Welcome back into the program, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. Don't forget Brian Dawson's podcast, 1819 News, the podcast with Brian Dawson. You can find it at YouTube or any of the other places where you usually find your podcast. So the whole WNBA thing is just a fascinating story to me, in that their devotion to insanity. Like, I didn't know anything about the WNBA, Sky, a few years ago. And I watched some, and what is funny is there were a lot of youth sports, youth basketball teams, even in the very, very competitive urban areas, where the coaches were telling those little boys, which translates into future fans, to watch, at the time, it was women's college basketball. Because women's college basketball was still trying to play by fundamentals, run really good defenses, excellent mechanics on their shots from the outside, keeping, the elbow and all that stuff, and you could see how the game was meant to be played. So there was an opportunity for things like the WNBA to grow. And again, I didn't know anything about it. I was like everybody else. I ended up watching Caitlin Clark at Iowa. I watched the national championship game between them and LSU, and I saw the whole Angel Reese thing that drove her into stardom, which was kind of amazing because there's a lot of racial kind of undertones in that game and in other ways. And then it all transfers over to the WNBA, and I was one of the people, hey, look, this is going to be pretty interesting. I had no idea that the WNBA saw itself as the home of lesbianism. I had no idea. I thought this is just a sports league. Could I not have watched the league for years and watched basketball games without knowing that the girls on the court were attracted to girls?
I could have done without that. Yes.
But you see my point. My point is,
I do. It's why does it have to be out front?
Yes,
like this?
Because I'm watching basketball, right?
Right. Yeah, that's the game.
So who in the WNBA decided that it was important for all of us to know that they are very, at least, pro-lesbian? Which, here's what's weird about it is, okay, great. It's the WNBA. I could. All right, I see that. Where it really begins to get to be mental illness is when you have a league that has spent decades now saying, we're the WNBA, women's basketball. They got all the shirts, all the female leagues have the shirts that say, people watch female sports or whatever it is. So it's women's league, women's this. We've got women. Look at the women. Watch the women. The women are great. The women are good. The women are just as good. The women are equally as good. Then it kind of transfers over to the women are probably better. The women are way better. The women are superior. And it's women. And we fast forward to today, and someone simply says, hey, I don't think men ought to be playing in the women's sports. And the very league that has spent all this time saying, women, look at women, we're women, it's awesome, women are better, women are equal, women are great, women. No, we want men. Men will be great. That is a mental illness.
Well, that's the problem with these ideologies, this madness, this mania, this fanaticism, is sometimes the two current idiocies cross over each other. Women, 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 women. We should get paid more. We should get paid at least what men get paid. Whichever one it is.
Yeah.
Well, see, these are opposing current agenda items.
Yes.
And now you need your scorecard. Like I've told you, you got to create your scorecard so you can figure out which one is more important. And the WNBA is at a crossroads on this.
Right.
They can't quite figure it out because it's crazy.
Well, it's double crazy, Sky, because they don't like men.
Right. I get that.
Do you get what I'm saying?
It's all
even extra. Like if they said, hey, we don't even want men around because we hate men. We're attracted to women. I don't want any men around. It's like a man saying, look, I don't want any ugly women around.
Okay.
He says, I only want good-looking women at my business. You know what I'm saying? I only want good-looking women at my restaurant or whatever, which would be terrible, and nobody would actually say it. But I could follow.
We hate men. We're lesbians. This is our league. I get that.
I could follow that
it's not
reasoning.
Right, but I understand it.
But they're like, I hate men. I don't like men, but we would love to have men in our locker rooms. I don't get
It's
it.
that left-wing ideology of insanity. These are two separate issues, but now they've collided.
The streams have crossed.
And hilarity ensues.
The streams have crossed
we should write a sitcom, okay, for this stuff.
Yeah.
Seriously. It's of course they never put it on the air.
Well, we could put it on here though. You could do us a skit there, Sky.
It's okay. I've got the title for episode 1.
What?
It's raining dildos. Okay.
You can't say that.
Whoops. Should I cut that?
No. Little kids will ask, what is that? No.
Remember that?
It's raining fake men.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I meant to say.
But I could see the male hatred. That would make sense.
Well, that's something we're aware of.
Right.
That's been a thing that has happened in the past. You hear it all the time. You know?
And maybe that's why the trans men are okay, because the trans men also don't like men because they don't want to be a man. So maybe it gives them a pass to be in the LNBA. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
I'm trying, man. I'm really trying to follow this. But at some point, you have to realize you're trying to reason with insanity.
Yes.
That's the problem, and that's what I want to come down to. That's what I'm trying to figure out is this really just plain old insanity, or is it a bunch of liberal women who have been taught this is the next frontier? It makes them virtuous. It makes them awesome. And they just believe that they're supposed to say these things? Or do they really, really, really deep in their souls believe it? That's the thing I can't figure out. Because, again, you go to these other issues that the left has been, big on. It was, whether it's environmentalism, and now that's just gone. Like it doesn't even matter anymore. Probably was paid for by USAID, so that's probably
why that went away.
Probably what happened. Oh, speaking of the USAID, and you're a music guy, have you seen the discussion of the fact that there have not been any top 40 rap songs since USAID went away?
Isn't that amazing? And I checked the charts. I've noticed this.
Yes.
We pay for that information around here, Scott.
And people are saying that USAID was arguably manipulate. They were using federal money to manipulate
the chart,
the music market,
which is a federal offense, sir.
Well, not if the feds are doing it.
Oh, that's right. Oh, God. They got me again.
It's a not
man.
as I, do as I say, not as I do kind of thing.
But that type of we were just discussing this last night. That type of it's more than an anomaly. It is a statistical impossibility.
Yes.
It can't. It just
couldn't have been.
No. It's too strange. Too odd.
Which means that it fits in with the idea that rap music was, quote unquote, created or generated in order to have a negative influence in urban communities.
Said it all along. The way it blew up like that, and all of a sudden rock went off the chart, and rap took over.
Just took over everything.
They did it too fast. It was too abrupt.
But we
too quick.
waited, what, 20, 30 years before somebody has begun to figure out that it was possibly manipulated?
Well, there was a lot of suspicion, but like you said, you cut off the spigot, the USAID, all of a sudden it goes away. But whoever thought that was a good thing? Death Row Records, Gangsters and Hoes, and kids are going to emulate that.
Hey, no, I absolutely know kids are going to emulate it, and I'm familiar with little kids' sports teams who use the logo. Doesn't it have like an electric chair?
Yeah.
Guy sitting who had that on little kids' shirts, Sky.
Yeah, all over the place. That's so sad.
You and I might have paid for it. We got to take a break. We'll be back.
Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Welcome back into the program, everybody. Starting off the second half of the show. Lots of stuff to do. If you want to be a part of the program, the number here, 1-800-289-9228, 1-800-289-9228. There are a couple of things that kind of line up with our opening discussion with the WNBA. That we are surrounded by people. I don't know what that is, Sky. We are surrounded by people who just can't. Did you hear it?
Yeah, we're back.
I
We're
hear a
back. We had a
weird
little-
echo.
Yeah.
I think your iPad's unmuted.
I don't think so.
That's right.
That's microphone on. That's microphone off.
Everything's good here.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's weird.
So the
Could be Scott.
so the craziness of all these things, where I'm asking Sky, is it that people are just trying to be politically correct? I know that's not a word we use often anymore, but political correctness came from the Soviet Union. Okay, it was a word, it was a term that the socialists used, the Bolsheviks used, where people knew that reality was one thing, but you had to say the right thing. You knew it wasn't true. You knew that this is not working. You knew this was fake, but you had to say it. And then we adopted it in America. And I guess political correctness really kind of took off in the 80s. And, you know, you had these things that had never happened before. Certain groups had to be called by a certain new name. And if you didn't call them by the new name, then you were a terrible individual. You had to say things. And it evolved into the insanity that turned out saying that men dressed as women were really women and that they could be women. And so we're kind of seeing the apex, the ultimate dealing of political correctness, where people defend it by saying, well, how hard is Scott? What? It's no skin off your nose or off your back or whatever they say. It doesn't hurt you. Why can't you just call them what they want to be called? I mean, why can't you just do that? Well, mostly because it's not true, and I try to be somewhat truthful, and I'm not here to facilitate someone's insanity.
Right. It came out of, I researched, we laughed and laughed about political correctness in the 80s. We thought it was some kind of a joke.
Right.
And then as it progressed, I did a lot of research on this. I've got papers on it.
Really?
Very thorough. It is cultural Marxism.
It is. That's why it
And it's
came from the
designed-
Bolsheviks. Yes.
Exactly. And it did. It came right out of Germany long ago, back in the 1800s, Scott. Imagine that. And it's really designed to shut down disagreement verbally, dissent, yes.
Right.
And it confuses people. You've got to say this or you've got to say that. And as you mentioned, look where it's progressed now. We don't know what a woman is.
But we have Supreme Court justices who can't say what a woman is.
Right. That's where it's landed. So it's deadly serious.
Oh, it is.
And
it
it's
is.
effective.
And it causes people, and it's a paralyzer. It is made to force people into not knowing what to say, and it's also a litmus test. It is to see who will comply with the newest order from their Marxist leaders.
No matter how little sense it makes, the current cognitive dissonance that's just epidemic in this country, you could say that's its origin.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. So this has been around for multiple decades now, and then we get to what we have going on, which is some of the most insane anti-American tradition and history people running for office that maybe we have ever seen. People who are just adamantly opposed to just traditional values. And I can remember a time when a lot of Republicans would say, Scott, I don't know why you care about cultural issues. All we should focus on is pocketbook issues, checkbook issues, the wallet, economic issues. That's all that should matter. That was a big thing for young Republicans back when I was young. Was the young Republicans had been taught by I don't know, maybe the kind of the libertarian class of the Republican Party that social issues don't matter. And my argument at the time was, no, social issues will eventually come for your wallet. Because if you don't say these social issues are wrong or these social issues are damaging to society, when you've ignored all that and they finally come and take your last penny out of your pocket with you, you're wearing your pants and they take your last penny out of your pocket, are you really going to say, hey, you can't do that? That's immoral. And then all of us who've been fighting the fight for 30, 40 years are going to go, wait a minute. You didn't think that was immoral. You didn't think this was immoral. You didn't think that over there was immoral. You didn't care about that being immoral. And now we come to take your last penny under the guise of taxes. And now you want us to rally around you because you've now decided that this was immoral? Why was that any more immoral than all the other things? And that's kind of where we've gotten, and many of us are beginning to understand that the social issues, the right and wrong issues, if you don't fight those, you don't have a leg left to stand on when it comes to economic issues, et cetera, et cetera. But this onslaught of people who are just anti-American traditions. There is a lady running for, what state is this? This has got to be crazy. Oh, it's Wisconsin.
Of course.
Minnesota and Wisconsin, I have gotten in trouble before for saying they're basically the same place, okay? It's hard for me, and then, of course, they're like, well, if you say that, I don't know the difference in you and Mississippi. I'll take that. I'm okay with Mississippi. I like Mississippi. But Minnesota and Wisconsin are just nuts. And I can't figure out if it's because they have to stay inside because it's so cold, if they have cabin fever, or what it is. But they're like maybe they dehydrated their brains. Doesn't it get really dry air up there when it's cold and they're inside?
Part of it. It's the cheese, I think.
You think it is? They're getting this moldy cheese and they didn't realize
Something
what was
like
happening?
Yeah.
So Democratic Wisconsin gubernatorial candidate Francesca Hong.
Hong, you said?
Hong, yeah. You don't usually get Francesca with Hong. I have went to the Googles and asked for ethnicity. She is South Korean.
Okay.
I can't tell if she's like 100% South Korean or just partially South Korean, but
I saw her. She looks.
She's South. I mean, she looks
She
South
definitely
Korean,
looks
which is
Asian,
fine. It's just the Francesca throws me off. Isn't that Italian or something?
Latin or Italian, something.
Okay.
Like that. Yeah.
Well, Francesca is the daughter of immigrants who moved to the United States from South Korea in the 80s. Okay. So her family wanted to move to the United States. Apparently, on social media, she had tweeted that Thanksgiving should be canceled at some point in time. So she was asked on the campaign trail about whether or not she still believes that Thanksgiving should be canceled. Caitlin Collins asked on CNN's The Source, do you still believe Thanksgiving should be canceled? Hong answered, now listen to this, guy. You're running for governor of one of these crazy states, Wisconsin. You've said in the past you think Thanksgiving should be canceled.
Okay.
Caitlin Collins gives you a softball, easy, here you go. All you got to say is no. I mean, I know some people have some issues with it, but no, Thanksgiving shouldn't be canceled. Here's her answer. So you got it all in your mind, right?
I'm set. Yeah, prepared.
Straight out of the chute. I'm a chef. Okay. I'm a chef, and one of the first meals that I made that was for the community when I was 16 was a Thanksgiving meal. I always think my hospitality background in owning a restaurant for 7 to 8 years, that bringing folks around the table to share a conversation and build community is always a good thing. But Thanksgiving is also a time that's incredibly painful for many people in our communities. And so I think I wanted to make sure that people understood that there are multiple views, but views can evolve. And the position that I'm running for right now, and I think my background as a chef will actually help me become a better governor that's able to bring more people to the table.
Okay. Man, my head hurts.
So let me translate that for you.
Yeah, please.
Yes, Thanksgiving should be canceled.
Okay.
Okay. That was the answer.
Okay. Well, I'm an auto mechanic, and I think that bringing people together at Thanksgiving is horrible. I'm feeling any other profession.
All you have to say is no.
It's painful.
But
It's
she
painful,
can't
Scott.
say no.
It's
But I do
painful.
know something that I didn't know before.
What's that?
She has consultants.
Oh, yeah.
Because you
And
don't come
backers.
up with that word salad without a consultant saying, hey, look, you need to focus on the fact that you own a restaurant. You need to focus on bringing people together. And so she panics, in my opinion, on the Thanksgiving question and reverts back to,
Get an AOC.
I got to say what they told me to say.
Yep. AOC them.
We got to
lost
take a
in it.
break. We'll be right back.
Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
So you can learn things, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate that,
And,
Fred. Thank you.
But that's true, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I am serious.
We have to stop kowtowing to every little thing that they have said is bad and evil, and they don't get to decide what is right and wrong. I'll bank my money on what God, the creator of the universe, says is right and wrong. It's worked very well for Western society for 2 millennia, and we've got to get with it. Got to fight the fight. We got to get after it. It's ridiculous. I'm just tired of great Americans being ripped to shreds, history going away, and all of us cowering around because we're afraid somebody's going to call us a bad name. It is time to save the republic.
You're
You're listening to Alabama Unfiltered Radio.
Welcome back in, everybody. So the President of the United States is dealing with the Iranian conflict, and he says that talks are underway. Negotiations with Iran are ongoing. Iran says that they are not. But I believe the president is. He was asked about it. Story by Joshua Klein. Speaking in the Oval Office, Trump said he delayed the planned strikes after Iran, backed by Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, and other regional countries, urged him to give diplomacy another chance. Trump said this is a last chance. It's the last chance for them to sign a good document. He was pressed on why he was again delaying threatened strikes after repeatedly holding off on military action in recent months. Trump replied, "I want to give them every last chance before decapitation," which is back to what we were talking about before, Sky. It looks as if the policy, at least partially, has been, and I doubt that that was a poorly chosen word by the president. Decapitation, meaning to remove the head. My guess is that Iran is looking at a new phase of combat, which will be, we'll just keep taking the heads off the Hydra until they decide to give it up.
As you mentioned yesterday about taking out leadership.
You know, eventually somebody will want to quote unquote rule Iran. And you'll eventually get down to the level of the guy who says, you know what? I'm next in line. I don't feel like dying. Let's make a deal. And
I guess that's the strategy.
And he actually might be someone who is able to ask for some things that would give Iran a little bit of security in the region.
What happened to the uprising we so hoped for?
Thanks to probably technology that we helped develop, or the Chinese, they knew who all the rabble-rousers were, and when they killed the 30 to 50,000 people in Iran that were protesters, supposedly, I think they killed the 30 to 50,000 people that would have led the uprising.
Okay, so this...
Now, look, that's totally my thought process.
Well, that's exactly where I was going, and so this would apply kind of across the board to really any country. If Iran has that technology, pretty much all the West and basically everyone else has the same.
Well, I mean,
issue.
look, I think we talk about it all the time here in the United States. If the United States, I don't know if y'all have ever seen this, but I saw a guy speaking the other day. He was speaking to Sean Ryan. I've mentioned him before. He's the Catholic exorcist. There's two of them that have kind of made the rounds, and it's one of them I like better than the other. But he was warning that, look, if the power structure that is in place in the United States and in the West ever really gets challenged, that's when he says we should be greatly concerned. Because he said it will be ruthless brutality.
And they know exactly.
And they know exactly who is liable to be one of the people saying, hey, we need to get our pitchforks and our torches out. This is ridiculous. You can't traffic kids and sacrifice people and do all this satanic stuff and be in charge of us. This is going down. Yeah. They know exactly who might do it.
We saw a preview in Canada when they were having the truckers.
Yes.
You know, and they debanked them, deplatformed. They couldn't even buy gas.
Right. They knew exactly.
Was how many years ago?
And they just ran their tags through the computer, and the computer said that's Sky and that's Scott and that's Terry and that's Joe and that's everybody, and they just turned off their money.
Just a quick reminder: when we were going through the theories of what we were fighting for in Iran, remember, number one, to stop them from having a nuclear weapon. Number two, and we discussed the popular uprising. To overthrow the Islamic fundamentalist. This was mentioned.
Yes.
That they've got all the tools to put the check and the brakes on the potential candidates.
Yeah. And dragging around.
And clearly they have.
Yes, they have. And here's the thing. Think about America. The what it took for the founding fathers to rebel against Great Britain was amazing. And there's really not been a lot since then that comes anywhere close. The Civil War does, when the southern states rebelled against, quote unquote, rebelled against the North or the Union. It was fine when the everybody did it against Britain, but it was treasonous when the South did it. But really on the scale, like Britain, for the most part, Britain gave away their country, India and those places. The British Empire just basically folded up and gave all these things away. Right. The United States had to take their freedom and fight for their freedom. And
it wasn't that popular a movement in the beginning.
Yeah, and it's a very difficult thing to do. Even if you're ruled by the Ayatollahs, it's a difficult thing to do, especially when you don't have firearms.
Oh, that would be a problem if you.
It makes it a lot more difficult to rally.
Wait, you're saying the establishment government has all the weaponry?
Yes.
Okay. Wow, that would be make things very difficult.
Yeah, and to go and
yourself.
Facilitate change, you gotta go and physically do it with a scimitar, I guess. Yeah, you would have to have your pitchforks. And so you would be fighting against people with guns. Have you ever seen the movie The Last Samurai?
Yes, I have. It's been a while, but yeah.
I think Tom Cruise is in it. Yes. Sure. And there's the sad scene at the end where all the samurais are, on their horses and they're charging, and those scumbags, and I think they're in blue uniforms. Well, they were brought the weapons by people in blue uniforms, and they're just going cranking that thing, and they're just mowing those samurais down who have their armor on, and they've got their swords and they're charging, and they just got that Gatling. I guess it's a Gatling gun.
It was,
and they're just and they're all just getting it's all slow motion, and everybody's shot and dying, and all the quote unquote good guys just get mowed down because they don't have guns.
Nothing to fight with.
But
pride and honor.
30 to 50,000 people apparently were killed in Iran. POTUS on the negotiations with Iran. I want to give them every last chance before decapitation. If I'm given a chance to let a lot of people live, I want to give that a chance. I'm with him on that. He also disputed the Iranian claims that no U.S.-Iran negotiations are taking place. This is the part that a lot of people have well, Iran says. He said the talks are going on right now. We're talking right now at the request of Iran, backed by so-and-so and so-and-so. And then he says that one of the problems is they just all run around and act like they're not asking for it. He said Iranian leadership is unbelievably duplicitous. He wrote that on Truth Social. They asked for a meeting. Some would say beg. Talks begin with more scheduled in the immediate future, and they say openly and proudly that they are not having any discussions, that nothing is being talked about, and they are only dealing with Oman. Well, you can't trust them.
No, how many times we've been through this? Back to the table. We're going to agree. We're going to do this, and right back to it.
Over and over.
But I could have, I'm not a Trump advisor by any means, but I could have told him you can't trust him.
You could go back to the Barbary freaking pirates and know you can't trust them. Yeah. We got to take a break. We'll be back.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason, your news and headline headquarters.
Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
you can learn things, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate that,
And,
Fred. Thank you.
But that's true, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I am serious.
We have to stop kowtowing to every little thing that they have said is bad and evil, and they don't get to decide what is right and wrong. I'll bank my money on what God, the creator of the universe, says is right and wrong. It's worked very well for Western society for 2 millennia, and we've got to get with it. We've got to fight the fight. We've got to get after it. It's ridiculous. I'm just tired of great Americans being ripped to shreds, history going away, and all of us cowering around because we're afraid somebody's going to call us a bad name. It is time to save the republic. Welcome back in, everybody. Let's head out to your phone calls. Let's go to Cousin Vinny. Cousin Vinny, welcome to the program. Happy Tuesday to you.
Thank you. Happy Taco Tuesday for what it's worth.
Oh, absolutely.
I wanted to call, and I just wanted to chat a little bit to y'all about something that's been very much out there. And I served Air Force. I have a lot of brothers and sisters in the Legion and whatnot that served. And I've been really quiet on Facebook. I haven't put anything out there on YouTube or anything. And I've been watching everything that's been taking place. And I did see this kind of just ticked me finally. I saw last night on YouTube where the new DAS Democrats have sworn loyalty to China, and that their whole goal is to move with China. And then we're talking about all of the Muslims that are here, and they're building their communities, the Somalis, all of that. You know, this has been going on for a long time. And I am very petrified that by us going after Iran and utilizing all of our troops and everything, I think that's a bait setup for China and Russia to do their thing, because if we run out of ammo or we're tied up somewhere else, they can pretty much do what they want because we won't have the resources to go back in and take care of it. And I really do truly believe that there are organizations here in the United States currently that are planning, whether they're Muslim communities, whether they're drug cartels associated with that, with China, Chinese operatives that are here. I'm not trying to be a doomsday prepper. I'm just trying to look at everything and look at it from a realist standpoint. And I'm just freaking out as to what the hell are we going to do as people? Are we going to be able to bear arms to protect our communities? Am I going to be able to still exercise my sworn oath to serve and protect against enemies, foreign and domestic? What are your thoughts about that? Am I out in the twilight zone? Am I a psycho? I mean, is my mind running amok?
No, I mean, you've come to the right place for, some psychoanalysis, but I don't think you're a psycho at all, Cousin Vinny. There are legitimate threats out there in the world. The debate for America has been for decades whether or not we could fight a two-front war across the globe again. A lot of people have worried about China. Now, China has its own problems right now. They have a lot of economic issues. But you were right in that we're dealing with Iran. China's sitting there wanting Taiwan, which is just one of those things that they just want. Russia's dealing with Ukraine. And if something else did kick off, we could have some real issues. We're going to have issues on who we decide to fight. There's so many problems in my children, Cousin Benny, I'm sure they would do their duty, but I would be livid if they were drafted to go fight in Iran or to go fight Russia. I would just...
No, I agree.
I'd lose my mind, and I don't think I am in a minority, because the question will be, what exactly are we doing this for? And there's got to be a better answer than Iran might get a nuclear weapon one day. Well, Panama might too.
Yes, I understand that, and I think the bigger picture and why Trump is doing this, and when you put Cuba into the picture as well, I've been watching a show on YouTube, Promethean Action.
Okay.
And they really do lay it down, and it all stems from London. And they're building these wars to keep the control over the area, and it's been going on for hundreds of years through Great Britain.
Mm-hmm.
And I really do believe that Trump's whole gig is to shut that gig down. And it's over now. We're not going to have that anymore. We're not going to have London controlling everything that goes on in the world.
Now let me ask you this, Cousin Vinny. Is London the code word or the headquarter for the international bankers?
It's the headquarters of it all.
It's
the headquarters for the international bankers, which was developed as a big portion of that to control the money, launder money.
Yes.
All of that.
Yes.
And when I watch that Promethean Action, those two gals really do speak common sense. And when they lay it down in those terms, and what Trump's plan really is with Iran is to stop Britain's greatest control of our economy. Through the oil, through everything. They've been keeping the wars going. They've been sponsoring them. They've been doing all of that. And I'm just petrified that it's a bigger picture, that eventually someone's going to open up that can of worms here in the United States, and it's just one day our United States is going to go completely apeshit.
Well,
I'm just so concerned about that.
I tell you, I'm not completely familiar with Promethean Action, but I have seen, and maybe the people I saw are these folks from Promethean Action. I've seen an older lady saying very, very similar things. My concern is I feel like we in the United States are on the edge of a knife, even though Trump's leading, okay? And I see it that we could be trying to break the international bankers who have ruled us, ruled Europe. Russia does not take kindly to the international bankers at all, which is why I think we're always being pushed to oppose them is on behalf of the international banking community, and we'll call it London in case. China, like every good revolution, was funded by the bankers at the start, but they're all about China and themselves. So there's the one side of the knife that says, look, the Chinas of the world, the Russias, the United States are trying to break this, and then everybody can be their own country, and we can all get along and not be subservient to this international banking class. But at the same time, and you tell me what you think, Cousin Benny, I think there's a 50-50 chance that we're really working on the side of the international bankers, and this is all about blowing up BRICS and anything that opposes the status quo when it comes to world finances. I can't tell that. I'm hoping that the Promethean folks are right, but part of me says, well, are they just spinning so that people like myself will be like, yeah, we're going to break away? I don't know. Where would you bet your last dollar?
Okay, I agree with you to some extent, and I'm very logical, and I deduct things very logically without emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and based on God and Christ our Savior.
Yes.
That's how I base everything. But I look at it very logically with no emotion whatsoever.
Okay.
And I have watched so much of Barbara and I can't remember the other gal's name in Promethean Action. I have analyzed everything that they have said very logically. and it makes very good sense logically what they're saying because of what I have seen go through history.
Hey, Cousin Vinny,
Okay?
let me carry you over through the break if you don't mind, because I know people are interested in what you're saying. If you can stick with us, please do. We'll be right back.
Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Show you can learn things, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate that, Fred. Thank you.
But that's true, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I am serious.
We have to stop. Welcome back in, everybody. We got Cousin Vinny on. I was asking him before the break whether he thought we as a country led by the president we're on the edge of a knife, the blade of a knife, and are we falling to the side of breaking the international banking system where we can rule ourselves again, and maybe that has something to do with the huge debts we have and those kinds of things, or are we actually helping the international banking system, and we're going along as things have been going along for at least the last couple, 200 or 300 years for the most part, or in the Western world at least. And I was asking Cousin Vinny, where would he bet his last dollar? And he was saying that he looks at things rationally and logically, and then we had to take a break. So, Cousin Vinny, I wanted to give you the last word.
Yeah, sure. And as you had mentioned, thinking that President Trump might be sitting quiet on the sideline of the international banking, putting up a show. I don't believe that, only based on what I've seen of his actions in the past, dating back to the 80s to current. I just don't see that. And I really see logically that he really is trying to rebuild the United States as to what it once used to be before Clinton started NAFTA and all that garbage started going on.
Right.
And it really did destroy our nation. And I've watched it very slowly, piddly. And I don't get involved in Facebook and shed my, comments or anything like that because I don't want to be put out there on the camera eye as being a troublemaker.
Right.
So I just sit back and watch.
Okay.
And I'm being bold getting on the radio with y'all. But in the same respect, I think it needs to be heard because I am very concerned that something is going to happen quickly as a rebuttal to what we're doing in Iran in the United States, whether it be via Muslims,
Right.
whether it be via Russians or Chinese that are here, or maybe they're all teamed up together. I don't know. I'm not going to be a totally freak on that,
Right.
but it could very well be.
Well,
And I think
or a
we-
false flag, and we're told it's one group and it's not another group, and then we're in turmoil. I mean, we're not in the greatest economic footing as it is either.
And they're trying to get us to turn against each other.
Yes.
With all this political garbage that's going on, they are trying their very best to turn us against each other. But I need everyone to hear we cannot do that. We have to stay one. We have to stay with our mindsets that our forefathers gave us. And we have to practice our Constitution.
Cousin Vinny?
That's what I think.
I think that's good advice, my friend. I appreciate you calling and being willing to state your opinion and help us to think about this a little bit.
Yes, anytime. Thank you.
You got it, buddy. Have a good day. I thought it was a good call.
Sure. I'm not sure if he ever answered the question, though.
About which way? I think he was falling on the. I think he did answer it. That
Trump
wants to strengthen America and reduce our dependence or the control that international banking has on the United States.
Okay, so reduce.
Well, I think he thinks we would like to get out from under them, or I don't know if I can go that far, but I do think. Now, look, you want me to give you the real conspiracy theory? I hinted at it when I asked the question.
I've been trying to draw it out here.
The real deep one is, now this goes back to the old, white hats, and they're all fighting the bad guys, and we just don't know it, and there's all these battles going on. The real one is, the real deep one, which I don't believe yet. I probably believed it more 6 months ago, is that China, the leadership of China, Putin, and Trump are all fed up with the dark banking interest of the world that pull all the strings, and that them together are willing to break the stranglehold that has been on the Western world for a few hundred years.
Okay, 6 months ago, I'm right on board with the United States and Russia.
Yes.
China's a bit harder sell for me. So 6 months ago, you say?
Well, that's about when
wonder what's changed.
Well, we seem to be doing more what the
yes, okay.
what
Well,
international wants.
Kind of doing their dirty work a little bit there, maybe.
I'm just asking.
Okay, I just checking.
I'm just here to tell people what people are thinking.
That's right. Right. But I could definitely see that alliance beginning to form.
Well, people.
I was very hopeful
because people have to look back now, and we didn't for decades and decades. You go back and look at World War II, and you see what we did right after World War II, and then we end up with the Cold War forever after that. And the money that was spent and the money that was made because of the Cold War. I mean, we just handed the freaking communist Bolsheviks, half of Europe?
Eastern Europe.
Just gave it to them.
and forgot the atrocities they were committing.
Yes.
And had committed that we were aware of.
And we knew they were communist. Yeah. And it's almost like we went into that to help the communist.
Well, if we didn't, we certainly accomplished it, didn't we?
Right. So I'm just saying that looking back on that has to make us look at other things are happening under the surface in world events, even right now.
Agreed.
We got to take a break. We'll be back.
you can learn things, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate that, Fred. Thank you.
But that's true, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I am serious.
We have to stop kowtowing. Welcome back in, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio, starting off the third half of the show. Let's get out to your phone calls. Rooster, welcome to the program. I hope you're well.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, Rooster.
Thanks for taking the call.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
what's on your mind?
Y'all, I got two things, but I want to make one quick statement for you.
Okay.
You know, y'all were talking about the Bolsheviks. The
Yes.
Bolsheviks are Zionists. That's just another name for them. Anyway,
that seems to be historically accurate.
Yeah, Marx and all them was all Zionists, all the communist leaders. So that's where it came from, out of the Zionist movement. But anyway, I got two things I want to mention to you. Number one, do you mind being called Hey Man?
I don't mind it at all.
Well, you should, because if you ever read the book of Esther, when they're conducting Purim, that Haman was the enemy.
Oh, I got you.
A little biblical humor there.
I didn't see that coming there, but yeah, no, I got you.
And so now, don't say yeah, no anymore. Always say one or the other. Now, this Purim I'm talking about, that's what's going on over in Iran, because you get on Fox News and what's this guy's name on there? Brian Kill the Medes. Well, you know,
that's funny.
He's showing his colors, and this Purim thing is about killing the Medes. And if the United States don't kill all the Medes, then the Israelis will, and when that's all over, the Iran will get to have a baby boom. You know what I mean?
I got you. Yeah, more people will move in there. Yes. Hey, let me ask you this, Rooster. Is it true, I don't know if you know or not, or if you've ran across it, that there are people moving to Ukraine to fill the void behind so many Ukrainian men dying?
Yes, and that's the same thing. They're fixing to have a baby boom, too, just like we had one. But, see, the problem is that it's easy to take the land away from a bunch of women and children.
That's a good point.
You get me?
No, I got you.
Anyway, all right, now, let's get on with the money. You talking about the bankers? Mm-hmm. This is a biggie right here. All right, have you ever read the book, The Rights of Man by Thomas Paine?
I have not.
Okay, well, then you should. He was in France when they had their head chopping going on. Yeah. And they drug out the king and Marie Antoinette and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He wrote a reply to a book that one of them parliamentarians in England wrote, right?
Okay.
And so Thomas Paine wrote a book to reply to him.
Okay.
And in Thomas Paine's book, he's talking about the King of England is already producing phony paper and forcing his subjects to use it for money.
Okay.
This is in the 1700s.
Mm-hmm.
Now, over here we were using gold and silver coins here. We were not using paper. And so that's another thing people don't know. The King of England is going to try to make us over here use that phony paper as our money. And that was another thing about that. But, so what happened was the chosen people took over the English banking system, or they created it, one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And so then when they came over here, and in that book that I gave you, it talks about their influence here during the Revolutionary War. And I've got coin books. I can look back at the oldest coins, and all of them got 6-pointed stars.
And hey,
and
let me ask you another question before I let you go.
Okay.
What role, and I've just stumbled across this recently, and Sky may know, the role that international banking played leading up to the Civil War and events possibly events after the Civil War. There's a lot of debate about, I say a lot of debate. I just was never aware of international banking influences in the United States before and during the Civil War. But apparently these forces are always trying to manipulate empires.
Yes, well, you can go. Thomas Jefferson, he broke up the first national bank we had, and then Jackson broke up the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And but see, both of those did not come. They didn't organically sprout up here. They were brought in from England because the chosen people had done took over England's money system.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know about Columbus sailing the ocean blue in 1492?
We got a day off school.
Yeah. What about it?
Because Columbus was a Jew.
Well, what does that have to do with anything?
Spain and they made trouble. They made a lot of trouble over there.
I knew the
Spain threw them
expulsion
out.
was in 1492, 91, 92, 93, somewhere in there. I don't know about that one.
But he had to leave because he was a Jew, and and he begged Isabella to give him some boats to leave on.
Yeah.
So they all set sail thinking they're going to India.
Yeah. Rooster, thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Scott, to answer your question about the first paper money in the United States,
yes,
you would be correct. Abraham Lincoln, Greenbacks, the Legal Tender Act in 1862. Mm-hmm. The bills were called greenbacks because green ink. It was a way to finance his war, and Congress allowed $150 million in new paper money to enter circulation, which was backed by the power of government.
Yes.
Instead of gold.
Yes.
Just thought you might find
But here's
that
the rest of the
interesting.
story. My understanding is that it was also backed by the United States government and not loaned to us by international banks.
Okay. Yes,
so
that is correct.
So where he makes a mistake in, hey, paper money that's not backed by anything, and I grudgingly give Lincoln credit on this, he made a good point in saying, hey, I'm not borrowing it from y'all. I'm going to put it on the full faith and credit of my own country.
For now.
Well, there was always somebody coming later to get it, but there is the conspiracy theory that says John Wilkes Booth and company was working, either they were willing accomplices or they were working for people who said, oh, no, you're not going to run your own banking system here on the full faith and credit of your own country unless we're doing it ourselves while you pretend it's on the full faith and credit. Because that conspiracy is out there as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, just to be clear, that was the first issuance
of paper money in the United States.
Yes. Well, that was not backed by gold.
Did I ever tell you about reading that paper money has been, quote unquote, fraudulent or abused since like the very, very first time somebody in some little German or Swiss town said, hey, we don't want the gold just floating around town, so we'll print some skybucks. And it turned out that the bank printing the skybucks was printing way more skybucks than they had gold. And so the guy running the bank was able to buy all kind of stuff in and around town because he had more skybucks than he was supposed to.
How about that? It's kind of an old scam that people just never have really caught on to. Now, you take a common counterfeiter like the gentleman you speak of,
right?
Man, he's done. He's going away for a long time. But if you organize it correctly, you can clean up.
He would have had the sheriff of Nottingham arrest the counterfeiter, but if you're the bank, you can print all you want.
Yeah, we should.
I've got some paper
study on
right
this
here.
More. Right. We should study up on that because, and then you have this, you need inflation. You got to sell that point. You got to have a good marketing.
You're not going to believe, Sky, that last night I woke up in the middle of the night the 2 or 3 o'clock wake up. It's not always about the bladder.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, I really have got to dig in and figure out exactly how they claim inflation is good for me and good for my neighbors and good for regular people, because I have this cursory understanding that I'm getting the shaft, but I really need to fully understand the argument they make when they're teaching it somewhere, and where all of us go, oh yeah, that makes sense. It's hard.
It's for greater minds, apparently.
Yeah, because I look at things like, hey, I want to be able to buy eggs and gas,
the basic necessities.
Well, and then I saw on the way in, I saw a guy pointing out, well, I know we got to take a break, but he was pointing out that if the price of homes in America had gone up at the same rate that the regular median income had gone up, if incomes had matched the price of homes, or homes had matched the price of income, the average house in the United States would be like $150,000.
That's correct. That's correct. And if it had gone up according to the minimum wage and the gold standard, the minimum wage would be about $42 an hour right now.
Really?
Keeping up with, yes. And where did our wealth go, Scott? That is the question we all
that's
need
what
to
people ought to
ourselves.
ask. And all these people, it's no wonder they can't buy a house. Apparently, houses went up 3 times what the incomes went up. Well, that's why they can't afford it. And he made a great point. And the baby boomers should quit saying this. That is such a disparity. Telling them that they should quit getting Starbucks and save up for their house is not going to work.
No, absolutely not.
You can't skip enough $5 coffees. And yes, that's a lot of money. I get it.
No, you
but
can't.
you can't
You'll never
skip
keep
enough
up.
to make up 3 times what the salaries didn't increase to.
The truth is out there. Federal Reserve, gold standard. Check it out.
Yep. We got to take a break. We'll be back.
There's Scott. Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politician.
you can learn things, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate that,
And,
Fred. Thank you.
But that's true, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I am serious.
We have to stop kowtowing to every little thing that they have said is bad and evil, and they don't get to decide what is right and wrong. I'll bank my money on what God, the creator of the universe, says is right and wrong. It's worked very well for Western society for 2 millennia, and we've got to get with it. We've got to fight the fight. We've got to get after it. It's ridiculous. I'm just tired of great Americans being ripped to shreds, history going away, and all of us cowering around because we're afraid somebody's going to call us a bad name. It is time to save the republic.
You're listening to Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back in, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. Almost halfway through the third half of the program. Let's get out to your phone calls. Clark, welcome to the program. I hope you're well. Happy Tuesday to you.
Hey, Scott, I'm all good. So,
good deal. What's up, buddy?
Quickly, on your discussion with Cousin Vinny there about making people mad and wanting to do stuff to us.
Yes.
Iran has been chanting death to America for 47 years.
Yes, they have.
China has wanted to take over the planet since the Cultural Revolution.
Yes, they have.
And Russia's wanted to do the same for about 110 years. So,
I don't know. Do you really? Throw? Wait, Clark. Do you really throw Russia in as the same as the Soviet Union? I mean, I know we say that sometimes. Do you really think so? Do you think it's the same? Really?
I think they
No. Let me ask you a question. Is Karkeski calling a call-in show in Russia and Hong Clark calling in to a show in China saying exactly the same thing about America? That America's wanted to rule the world for at least so-and-so years, and I'm just asking.
Point of order, Scott. Are we talking about the old Soviet Union, the USSR, or modern-day Russia?
I was asking him if he considers modern-day Russia the same as the Soviet Union, like modern-day Russia wants to take over the world.
Gotcha. Thank you.
So keep going, Clark.
Only if they get back to where they were. They're not in a position to do it right now, but that don't mean they don't want to. So,
yeah. But we don't want to rule the world, though, was what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, well, I do, but, benevolently. So
everybody wants to rule the world.
That ought to be a song.
So
Tears for Fears. Yeah.
Go ahead, Clark.
The global bankers,
mm-hmm.
we might have to worry about pissing them off. I don't know.
Well, they finance all the wars. They finance both sides. That's the problem with them. They want people and countries to have conflicts because, lots of people die and they make tremendous amount of money off both sides. Yep, that's right.
Yeah. So while we're on them for just a second.
Okay.
We had just mass caravans of millions of people headed to our border all at the same time, clearly coordinated. 60,000 young males have just flooded a southern Spanish city all at one time, clearly coordinated.
Yeah, clearly somebody had to pay for that, Clark.
I know. They just finance, organized, transportation, logistics.
Yeah.
A lot of work went into this, didn't it?
I think so.
Now, just as pure speculation, Scott.
Okay.
Tyrannical dictatorships have never done well in prosperous first world countries, have they? They tend to thrive in third world chaos. Is the objective for the mass migration to the West to create third world chaos in what have been prosperous first world countries?
Yes.
To make it more likely for tyrannical dictatorship to survive and succeed?
Yes. Actually, it's not to make the tyrannical dictatorship thrive and succeed. It's to destroy the West. That is the point. That is the goal. What comes at the end doesn't matter as long as the West is somewhat neutered or at least taken off at the knees. That's the goal. And then you have to ask the question, who would have that goal and who would do it and who would finance it? And those questions get more and more icky feeling the further you go, because most people will not go that far.
Let's take it a step further.
Okay.
If the goal is to destroy the West and governments of Western countries are deliberately allowing things to happen that will destroy their countries, do we not have treasonous leadership in Western countries right now?
Yes, we do.
How much closer are we to being able to solve this problem if we will openly embrace this fact?
You mean accept the fact that our leaders will sell us down the river, probably for personal gain?
On a regular basis, yeah.
It is. I think a lot of Americans, Clark, are realizing that. They're still bothered. It's hard. It's very hard to make that step, to take that step that would say your own folks would sell you out. That's a difficult place to be, but more and more Americans are beginning to realize that it's not really uncommon in the history of the world that one of your folks would sell you out, and it's not uncommon in modern day America to think they would sell you out. Well, especially think about this, Clark, especially when so many Americans have been taught their whole life, and some of them are getting into Congress now, that to dismantle the United States is a greater good, a moral victory for the world. So they don't even have to sell us out anymore. They believe they're doing what is right by undermining the United States or the West.
Yeah. Well, a doddering fool is one thing. A treasonous auto pen is another.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
Keep doing what you do, and I'm going to get back after mine.
Thanks, Clark. I appreciate it. Scott, there are questions at the end of some of these rabbit trails. I have a different view of rabbit trails than I used to, or rabbit holes.
I think we all do.
You go down one of them, and it might be dark, it might be windy, and then you get to a place way down there where it's pretty much the end of the trail. And there might be a little nugget there for you to get and be like, there's it looks to me like the third world is being imported, is coming to America, and if we let that happen, then it will be the end of the United States, okay? And that's where most people stop. But it turns out that at the end of that trail or the end of that hole, there's some vines hanging down. It might be roots if you're down in the hole, but it might be kudzu hanging down, and you push that kudzu back and you realize the trail keeps going. And then that next step might be, well, all these folks didn't just magically appear. Somebody was paying money. Somebody was organizing. Somebody was using resources to flood the West with people. It's not just, the little family from Mexico who just wants to come to the United States to, for a better life. That's not what is going on in Europe and the United States. People, groups of people are making this happen on purpose. And when you start going down that trail and start asking those questions, it is very uncomfortable where you start going. You start seeing foreign entities. You start seeing American entities. You start seeing foreign and American entities that have things in common. And it becomes your own, what is it called? Cognitive dissonance. Your own cognitive dissonance will make you want to just start backing up the trail, let the kudzu go across, and you look back down at that little gold nugget that says, yeah, if we let them keep coming, it's going to be a problem. That's as far, I don't want to know. I don't want to know anything else. And if you can't get to the point of trying to figure out who's making this happen and why, even if it's hard to accept, you're probably never going to stop it.
No, and many won't even begin to go down the trail, much less search for answers.
Well, I'll give you...
It's overwhelming. It's so diabolical. It just can't be true.
It is very similar to the Federal Reserve rabbit trail, because you start going down there and you realize, wait a minute, these people just wanted to be in charge of all the finances of the country and to profit off every single hour of labor that any American put in. They wanted a little piece of it. And when you start looking at the Federal Reserve, you begin to think, okay, people actually would do some of these things.
And our own people inside our own government would capitulate and assist them.
And help make that happen.
That's the really hard part for me to accept, that people would sell out their own country.
And sell everybody else out. Yeah, well, they absolutely would. They're getting theirs while they can. You know what they do? You know what they say? Somebody's going to do it. Why is it not me?
Yeah, well, I'd say somebody ought to start building some gallows and having some tribunals, and let's get this thing settled, you know?
I don't disagree with you. We got to take a break. We'll be back.
You can learn things, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate that, Fred. Thank you.
But that's true, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I am serious.
We have to stop kowtowing to every little thing that they have said is bad and evil, and they don't get to decide what is right and wrong. I'll bank my money on what God, the creator of the universe, says is right and wrong. It's worked very well for Western society for 2 millennia, and we've got to get with it. We've got to fight the fight. We've got to get after it. It's ridiculous. I'm just tired of great Americans being ripped to shreds, history going away, and all of us cowering around because we're afraid somebody's going to call us a bad name. It is time to save the republic.
You're listening to Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back into the program, everybody. We got a chance to get out to some of your phone calls. Let's go to Butterbean. Butterbean, welcome to the program. I hope you are well.
How you doing today?
It's another day in paradise, buddy. Another day in paradise. How about yourself?
Hey, it is just another day. So,
What's up?
Well, you're hitting on some topics I could say a pretty good bit about, but let's start back in 1812.
Okay, the War of 1812. All right.
So we let the First Bank of the United States charter expire.
Yep.
What happened next?
We had a war.
With who?
With the British.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So then we got the Second Bank of the United States. So now let's skip forward about, 30 or 40 years or something like that.
All right, so when did we get the Second Bank of the United States? Was that after Jackson? Or did Jackson crush it?
Jackson crushed it.
Okay.
So he came, so we let the first one expire, and the second one, and then we had a war, and then when we agreed to the charter, I think, is what happened. And we got the second bank charter, and then Jackson crushed it.
Okay.
So now we skip ahead to the Opium Wars in China. So the Opium War started because the British, and the Rothschilds were over there wanting to trade with China, wanting to get advantage of China. Hong Kong was a British colony, broke colony until 1999. So they were colonizing, trying to colonize China. But they didn't succeed in doing that.
Okay.
So we're talking about people trying to take over places, right?
Okay.
So that's my theme here, sort of. So if you go there, so let's go to the Bolshevik Revolution.
Okay.
It was funded out of New York City by Paul Warburg, who was the deputy chairman of the Fed.
Okay.
And Max Warburg was one in Germany. His brother was in Germany. And this is while World War II is going on. So you got the Warburg brothers on each side of the ocean on opposing countries.
Okay.
Germany and America, and then you got Jacob Schiff over here, all part of the chosen ones.
Okay.
That funded Lenin and Trotsky to go in and do the Bolshevik Revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that there could be some irritation because we went over to China in '71 with Nixon to pull them out of the dark ages, so to speak, and then we had GATT, NAFTA, and all that with Clinton, trying to pull them into our economy.
Okay.
So if you go even further to Trump's trip to China just now, who did he take over there? He took Elon Musk, Tim Cook, Jensen Huang from NVIDIA, Larry Fink, David Solomon, James Frazier, and Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, and people like that over there, because China and Russia have kind of closed themselves off to our economy through BRICS.
Yeah.
From the globalist bankers.
Okay.
And they probably don't like that too much. Now that you look at what's happening over here, what are we getting? We're getting, so they got kind of closed economies, this is watching some Simon Dixon, and I've watched from in action too. I've watched both of them. If you look at the way the money's flowing through the system, they got closed economies over there. In other words, their government regulates the corporations.
Mm-hmm.
Over here, it's the opposite.
The corporations regulate the economy?
Regulate the government.
Mm-hmm.
The government. they control our government. And we have an open economy, and other countries can come and invest here and what have you, just openly. Whereas over there, you can't do that without rules being placed on you, what have you.
Right.
So that's why that whole group of people went over to China, because they're trying to negotiate, the rules for us in the Chinese government. Now, I'm not defending the Chinese or Russian government, but I don't think they're trying to take, well, I don't know about China, but I don't think Russia is.
Right.
So, because we moved closer to them, like I said the other day with NAFTA, when the wall came down.
Mm-hmm.
They told us to expand 16 countries toward Russia.
Yeah, they have.
Putin hasn't expanded in our direction.
Well, that's why I was asking the question earlier about when I was saying, are we not? How does it look from the other side? I mean, at least in Russia's case, we absolutely have been aggressively expanding toward them, and we wouldn't tolerate that over here. So, I just try to be somewhat fair. I just can't. I think
it's quagmire.
Yeah, I just think I've learned that we're not always the good guys. We're not always the bad guys either. And I want what is good for American people, but a lot of times what America does is not for me and you, it's for one of those guys that would end up on the trip to China. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. And so let's hit on a couple other things here real quick.
All right. Hey, I got 30 seconds. Let's go ahead and take a break, Butterbean, so we can everybody and their brothers apparently called here at the end of the show. But let me carry you over and let you say some last words, and we'll be right back.
Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politician.
You can learn things, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate that, Fred. Thank you.
But that's true, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I am serious.
We have to stop kowtowing to every little thing that they have said is bad and evil and they don't get to decide what is right and wrong. I'll bank my money on what God, the creator of the universe, says is right and wrong. It's worked very well for Western society for 2 millennia, and we've got to get with it. Got to fight the fight. We got to get after it. It's ridiculous. I'm just tired of great Americans being ripped to shreds, history going away, and all of us cowering around because we're afraid somebody's going to call us a bad name. It is time to save the republic. Welcome back in, everybody. Let's get back out to your phone calls. Butterbean, I want to give you the last word, and hope you've been good today.
So, two quick things. The Federal Reserve. We got the Federal Reserve in 1913, and next year World War I broke out.
How about that?
That's interesting.
Yeah, and then Bretton Woods Conference. Bretton Woods Conference, really, Britain didn't give up their empire. The King of England still is the biggest landholder in the world. They didn't give up their empire. They just faded into the background and put us out in the forefront.
So we're the muscle.
That's my thought on that.
We're the muscle.
We're the muscle in front of the empire, right?
Okay. So let me go back to what Vinny said. Do you believe the president is moving to break the international banking empire, or is he facilitating the international banking empire?
So cross-referencing him with Prometheum update, Simon Dixon with Prometheum updates and other things Trump's doing. Let's talk about congruency. I don't think the congruency is there. I can't really tell. I really can't tell.
Okay.
But I will say this, that it ain't looking good right now. In my opinion.
Thanks, Butterbean. I appreciate you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, it's nice to know that we're somewhat in agreement, the panel today.
Hey, look, when you go from the word congruence to it ain't looking good, yeah.
Put it in terms we can understand.
I
right?
think that's where I am. Let's go to Simpler Days. Simpler Days, welcome to the program.
Hey, Scott, do you remember the D.C. snipers?
I do remember that. Wasn't one of them's names like Malfoon or something?
Malvo, yeah.
There
Yes.
was a Montgomery connection. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the case was broken because of the fingerprint. We sent them off the magazine from over on Zelda Road, and that's what they used to get a warrant on them. But anyway, one of them was a Muslim. The other one, the younger one, was a Haitian, and he had been arrested for entering the country illegally. He was released on bond, never did appear back. But they killed multiple people across the United, including the liquor store clerk in Montgomery. When will the American people wake up that those people don't like us?
I don't know. I've got a story that I'm going to have for tomorrow because it's kind of hitting today. It's called, I found it, it's by Olivia Murray. Evidence of Cultural Decline Seen at the Dog Pound. And I was like, what?
That's kind of profound title there, Scott.
Well, and it's interesting. I mean, it was so dumb that I thought I got to look at this, and
it intrigued you, didn't it?
It did. And so we'll
Hey,
have
Scott?
that tomorrow. Yes, sir.
Hey, Scott, that sounds like the Montgomery City Council. Y'all have a good day.
Thanks, Simpler Days.
Simpler Days said that when are we going to realize they don't like us? And I couldn't help but think, well, half of the Americans
don't like us,
who are supporting bringing them in, don't like us either.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's
kind of
the
a
beauty
catch-22
of
there.
the long-term plan and strategy that the communists have had. And we just think, this is what gets me about it. All these things, there have been people, Sky, who have been like, hey, look, they said it right there. They wrote it down. Here's the plan. Here's the points of the plan. Whether it's the communist, whether it's the Muslim Brotherhood, whether it's other people who want to rule the world, there's a plan there. They say it openly. And what do? They don't mean it. They don't mean it. This America, it's awesome. It's always going to be America.
They gave you the playbook.
And we won't even read it.
Just
You
ignore
know
it.
how sorry you got to be an opposing team to find the other team's playbook and not look at it?
You're not even trying.
You're not
man.
even trying.
Come on.
Let's go to, is this Boofy?
Boofy's on the phone.
Boofy, welcome to the program, Boofy.
It's Boofy. I'm rapper over here. That's official rapper. Are you ready to kill my lyrics?
I am. I knew that rap music had fallen out of the top 40, but I'm thinking this is probably going to be one of the better songs.
The Alabama legislature got me some of that USAID money. And now I trade my CDs to the campground evangelicals for some of that apple honey butter. Y'all have a good day.
That's a #1 song, baby.
Trade him to the evangelical for that. I was scared about what he was trading for, but he got that apple honey butter, which in my world probably means honey butter.
Something else. Yeah,
but,
in your world.
But in the rap world, it could mean something bad.
We might be saying profanities, and we're not even aware of it, man.
You're probably right. Hey, give me some of that apple honey butter.
I'll check with MC Boofy next time he calls back. Okay?
Oh, we're going to try to be back tomorrow. I hope y'all have a great day. Be careful out there. See y'all.